Oh, leuk.
Ja.
Dus bij alles komt dat ook erbij te staan.
Ja.
Weet je, maar hoe
En
die
in de
vlag,
laatste
en kijk, hij vroeg zelf naar de vlag.
Ja, man. Ik heb het gemist.
Hello, we're feeling so blessed. In Ghana, Accra.
So
Yeah.
where are we heading to right now? Where are you going?
Now we're going to the gates of no return.
That's where.
Yes.
That's where.
At the Cape Coast.
The Cape Coast.
Yeah.
Okay, so we are on our way to the Cape Coast.
Yes, we're on our way to the
Yeah,
Cape
that's
Coast.
why you guys are looking so amazing, right?
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, that is to give the respect, of course, you know, to our ancestors.
Sure.
Ancestors. Yes.
So who is in front there?
And in front of the car, that is Queen Mother Moses.
Queen Mother Moses.
Empress Queen Mother.
Empress. Let me say hi.
You have to say hello.
That's greetings. This is.
Oh, greetings. Yeah, Empress Queen Mother Moses, sweet as roses. The hostess that passed the hostess.
Yeah, man.
And you know all my company is serve because it's Africa time. Restoration of our continent and unity is the only solution. Giving thanks to our Holy Mother and Father. Jah Rastafari, Haile Selassie, I am many men.
What's my name again? Abena.
Yeah, I'm Kojo.
Oh, Kojo.
I was born on Monday, yeah. Soldier.
Alright, hey, look. You hear the music, huh? You see how we dance, huh?
I don't walk alone, go inside. I walk inside with my whole family.
You got to show me how to do that today. What is Ermi?
Dan die gaan we die andere kant.
Thomas Sankara, Marcus Garvey.
Zo maken je gek door je
See for the Marcus.
Dan denk je dat zij zien al die foto's hier, hè? Origin and culture is like a tree without roots. So we said this is what? Sankofa. Have to go forward to past in order to overstand our present and plan for the future. Giving thanks to the prophet.
Yes, Malcolm X.
Now you know you have to get Malcolm X. Why Malcolm X? Because Malcolm X born May 19 and the Empress Queen Mother born May 19. And I worked with Malcolm X's wife, Dr. Shabazz. We were higher education officer at Medgar Evers College, which is the only higher education institution in the United States named after a black man. Okay? So plenty wonderful history we give thanks for. And Marcus Messiah Garvey, Emperor Haile Selassie started the Organization of African Unity, OAU. After he did his pilgrimage, he went to Ethiopia, then went back to America to start the OAU, the Organization of African American Unity. So them sister, Muslim, and Rasta go and get together, so they had to assassinate him.
See? That's why you see. I don't know where we need to go. Where do I have to go?
Yeah,
Okay.
we mark them, yeah.
Come, let us go to the reception.
You know, under the gate.
Guide.
113. So colonial time. You can join me, you are welcome.
Thank you.
Colonial time. That was British colonial cost. This stayed in the building 17 years. You know what killed McLean? Mosquitoes. He died 1846 from malaria. That is the wife of McLean, called Letitia Elizabeth Landon. She was the only white woman who came around during the entire period of the trade. And within 2 months, she was found dead. There were lots of rumors at the time. The school of thought said she was killed by mosquitoes within 2 months on arrival. The other one said because McLean stayed longer, McLean wasn't going to England again. McLean has gone in for an African woman called Miss Barnum of Accra. So when Letitia came to head on that story, out of jealousy, she took some poison and killed herself. But the last one also said that the woman that McLean was going out with, she said the woman was a beautiful woman. She wanted to have McLean forever as the husband. So when Letitia came, the Ghanaian woman posed as a servant, then poisoned Letitia so that she would get McLean to marry. So these are the theories surrounding the death of the lady. So till now, me, I don't know what killed Letitia. But Letitia died. She died in 1837, 10 years before McLean died, age 36. So what do you think killed Letitia? Those who are joining, you are welcome. My name is Mark Tete. We started all over. The only place we've been is the mill dungeon. But don't worry, after everything, I'll take you back there. You complete everything, right? Okay. So let's move on from here. No, we are not there yet.
We're not there. Where are we now?
We are on top of a passage.
And it was at the Berlin conference that they divided Africa among themselves. You better tell the people them the truth.
True, we know. This is a reservoir. The reservoir was built by Europeans.
Reservoir.
Yes, for storing water. So they harvested rainwater from the roof. Be careful with your phones, please. The water normally came from the roof. They do rain harvesting. Whenever it rains, all the water will be harvested from the roof and stored here. When it rains. There was no pipe or water. They depend on the rain harvesting. There are pipes around the place. There are two of them. This is the only source of water that's time. Let's go this way. They will do selection. Aside from that, the stronger captives. They didn't allow them to come outside. They go through a tunnel. So we are on the top of a hole. All the way to the door of no return we are going to see. We are on top of a tunnel now. These ones are cannon from British. These ones are cannonballs. And there are so many cannons around the castle because before British started the construction in 1665, I told you, this land changed hands from Portuguese, through Swedish people, through Danish, through Fetu, and to the Dutch, and to the British. And that was through what? They were fighting each other. When the British defeated the Dutch in 1664, and they built the castle, they knew other Europeans would attack them. So they brought these weapons. So other Europeans who attacked the British were not able to conquer them because of these weapons. So I'll give you 2-minute break for pictures. After that, we'll resume. So take your pictures, 2 minutes.
Blessed Lord. Yes, this is Empress Miriam Simone from Cape Coast in Africa. And this is?
I am Mark Tete, also educator in Cape Coast.
And where are we?
We are on top of a tunnel that you created. And when you're ready to go with the captive, you walk them through to the ships. So we are on top of a tunnel leading to the door of no return.
Okay,
passage.
great. Okay, yes.
So we are moving to see the end of the tunnel.
And what was happening here? Because we see here cannons.
Yeah, the cannons are for defense.
Yes.
You can see cannons around all for defense. Other Europeans are attacking this way.
This one we use for the families.
Okay. Thank you.
So when you celebrate alongside you,
Yes, yes.
Okay, my group, let's move on. For our people, I'm going to tell the truth. You understand?
You have your right.
Yes.
It's open for me.
Yes.
I'm taking a
It
video
was
for
not
you.
But you
romance,
see, the thing
not
about
romance.
No, that's not.
my storage is not, you know. So
We must go there also. Let's pray.
ja, de gaat straks nog een heel rondje.
En bieten.
En bieten. Only
En some of them is almost failed.
Don't keep it running, just take what you need to take. The storage, Go look at Sandy.
It's the owner.
Filming it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, just look down, you see a hole. This hole started from the dungeons, where I say they do the selection. So from there, the captive, the stronger ones, they don't allow them to come outside. They go through this to the final exit, called the door. This was a monitoring point.
I can mean.
So look at it. Come on.
Oh, I thought you would do the camera also for me, but no.
Hey, they do fucking pain, eh? They don't pump on the fucking pain. It's geen fucking romance, eh? No fucking romance. It's where I've been before. No, what is here to smile about?
No.
What is here to smile about?
It's not a romantic story.
It's not a fucking romantic story, man. I'm a real black man.
All right, let's come here.
No, I cannot smile. Don't smile.
Just step in here, please. Brothers and sisters, look, this is the end of the tunnel. The tunnel is about 80 meters long. They started from the 80 meters. It started from the middle dungeons. So when they're ready to go with their captives, they don't bring them outside. They chain them from there, walk to this place. When they got here, at first, this was the exit into the ships. This was the exit. But due to the tidal waves, the sea was entering the castle. So British then blocked that side. This became the new entrance. British. They blocked that side. This was created as a new entrance. So from instead of them going this way to the ships, they'll come out this way. And this side was blocked by George McLean when the British stopped. So please, let's all come out again. Now, within these dungeons, there are two separate cells in the dungeon, two separate cells. This one of the cells, one is at the other side. This one in particular was designed for some of the female captives that British wanted to rape and the women refused. Europeans didn't come to Africa with their wives in the olden days because of malaria. Malaria killed them to the extent that they named the coast of West Africa the white man's grave. So only men came. But the men couldn't stay alone for a longer time without women, so they abused African women sexually. But sometimes they wanted to do that. Women would be fighting with them. We still refused that. They brought them here. The British would lock them. They stay for a week for punishment. And they were doing that for other women to see. Now tomorrow when they approach you don't fight with them. You can see a hole there. That hole was their toilet, give it to them. They pass food and water through this hole. Once a day, sometimes twice. Let's now go to the field then. Let's go here. Now these two were built for women. So we are going to enter this one. So please, let's all go inside here. Let's all go inside. Just one step down.
Nee, aan die andere kant, net die kleine kant. Dan moet je nagaan, die kan vrouwen je bent ongesteld of niet. Ja, kijk, dat zijn die vader. Hoe je heeft clean dat meneer. Hier komen de ziektes vandaan. De ziektes die alle kinderen. En die zo de hoofdtaken.
We are in one of the female dungeons. Let's listen carefully. Women were 300, 150 in this one, same in the other one. As against 1,000 men, so total 1,003 at a given time. And you might be wondering, why do they enslave women? Because this issue of slave trafficking started in the 1500s, when in the history there's some light at the back. The light is giving me some sharp pain. Do it without the light, please. It started in the 1500s, when in the history of the whole world, there was this man called Christopher Columbus. He said he discovered the Americas, but we all know that is not the truth. When he said he discovered the Americas, the Spanish people moved from Europe to those places, and they established their plantations where they needed labor to work. So they tried to use the people who owned the land, called the Native Americans, or the Red Indians, to work for them. But according to the same Europeans, they said those people were not strong and they were dying from diseases. So there was a Roman Catholic bishop. His name was Bartholomew de las Casas. He suggested to the Spanish people to look for alternative sources of labor to replace the Native Americans. For that matter, look for black people who are stronger and can work under similar climatic conditions to replace the Native Americans. So from then, the demand for black people started coming in. So they came for us to go and work for them on their farms in Americas and Caribbean. So if we talk of weeding and harvesting sugar cane, cotton, tobacco, rice, men like us would have been the preferred choice. And they took women like you. And the practical question is this: do you know why? I know, I want to test you some.
Because you make children.
To go and make children, to go and breed, that they'll get more. So when a woman got there, Europeans forced them to multiply in their millions. They used them to work 400 years. Nothing was paid to them. So we made them whom they are today.
We need our money back.
That is the reality. We made them whom they are today. You can't run away from that. Is a fact. And in these dungeons, women were treated like the men. Women would go to toilets. They would urinate. At the end of every month, women pass their menstruations. They pass their menses here. They didn't bath. They didn't clean their teeth for 3 months. But upon all this humiliation, Europeans still rape some of the African women. So anytime they wanted to do that, they live upstairs, we go there later, they come from their rooms upstairs, they open this, or that they look through the women. If you are the nice woman, they will select you, they will rape you. Those who said no to the rape, they brought them to that cell, they punished them for a week. Some of them got pregnant in these dungeons. So when we're ready to go, women who got pregnant, if they see, that is if they see, those who got pregnant, they freed them. They had houses built for them in Cape Coast town using bricks like this. They kept those women there. They became free automatic. They gave them everything. When they gave birth, sometimes they'll free the mother with the child. Or they'll take care of the mother and the baby up to about 10 years. Then they go and take the light skin baby from the mother. They'll bring the mother here again to come and suffer as a slave. And ladies and gentlemen, Europeans they gave birth to mulattoes. The women gave birth to mulattoes. And they gave names to them. That is how come along the coast of Ghana, especially where Europeans settled, we have light-skinned people. And some of the Ghanaians with some European names, surnames like Van Dyke, Van der Poy, Van Vika, Bartels, Da Costa, De Souza, Johnson, Combs, Ferguson, Morrison, Smith, Williams, Anderson, Jackson, Thorson, Lawson, all the sentences. These names came out of raping African women. Take note, before Europeans came to do this, we were not having these names in Africa. There were typical African tribal names that if they mention, you know that this person is a Gan, it's an Ashanti, it's a Yoruba, a Dagomba. Our names have identification. And they couldn't pronounce these names, and they corrupted them. And that is one of the major reasons why it is becoming very, very difficult for all the African Americans in the diaspora coming back to Africa in the 21st century. They find it difficult to identify their tribes or families. Because if they come to Ghana today with names like Usain Bolt, Michael Jackson, Oprah Winfrey, Stephen Harvey, LeBron James, you tell me, where would they go? This is sad, but I don't know how we can change this. So I side with you. I know the pain you are going through. But today, if you ask me, I can trace my lineage from 300 years up to today. But you can only trace to the castle. You can't go beyond the castle. So I know the frustration, I know the pain. But because we are learning, I just want you to keep calm. Okay. I know it's painful. Thank you. That's me.
But they are the ones, they are the survivors. Yes. They are coming the opposite way of the door of no return. Yeah. That is very important.
The olden days, when they're ready to go with them, they go through this door and they didn't come back again. That's what they call it off. But this is not the original also. The original was small and narrow, which was designed for one person at a time. So they will go through one after the other, chain, taken away. And the door was made bigger like this during colonial time. After slavery, colonial period for 100 years. British were taking raw material from this colony to Europe. So they made the door bigger so that everything will go through. So this is not original. Elmina has original, Elmina has an original. This was changed. And if you go through this door of no return, during the time of slave trafficking as a black person, one, you will lose your identity. You will lose your culture, respect, dignity, and everything. From this castle, some of the captives were taken to North America, United States. Places like Jamestown in Virginia, North and South Carolina, and all the original British colonies. The 13 colonies in America. Africans who, when they passed through this particular castle, some went to England, Liverpool. And ladies and gentlemen, Liverpool was the biggest slave harbor in the whole of Europe, Liverpool. Others were taken to Bristol, Bahamas, Trinidad and Tobago, Jamaica, including Barbados, all from here. And those who went to Brazil, Brazilians, were taken from the Elmina Castle, because Brazil was a Portuguese colony. Some of the Brazilians were taken from Angola and Congo, and Suriname, Dutch Guyana, Curaçao. They were taken from Albania by the Dutch. And those who went to the French Caribbean, they were taken from Senegal, Gorée Island. And those who were taken to Haiti, they were taken from Benin and some part of Nigeria. And interestingly, Brazil received the largest number of slaves from Africa. Brazil got 47% of the entire slaves from Africa. And Brazil is the third largest black population in the whole world, outside Nigeria, in Ethiopia. As of today, 2024, Brazil have a black population about 93 million. Did you hear me? There are 93 million blacks in Brazil only. So if you take from Brazil through Central America to North America and Europe, look at the number of Africans scattered across these places. If all of them were to be in Africa to help develop this continent, do you think Africa would be what it is today? Africa will be different. So this is part of our problems as black people. But we are quiet about these ones. These are some of the revelations you have to take note of. We are going to go through a door of no return. However, you are assured we will return this afternoon.
Yeah, I return. So when I return?
Yeah, you return. You return.
You will return.
Yes, this is a return. A ceremony in Ghana called Emancipation 98. During that time, skeletons of two black people, they call them Samarkasson from New York, a naval officer by profession, then Madame Krista from Jamaica. The two remains were sealed, brought to Accra. That's where we are gathered today. They were in two caskets, the door was open. They were taken to shake those grapes. For short, skeletons were taken to a nearby town called Asin Manson for reburial. That's where we have a slave river. So because two skeletons came and are with us on our soil, buried in 98, that is why we are reading the door. It means out of the millions taken away by Europeans, we brought two. That is telling everybody that at least once in our lifetime we should come to Ghana, for that matter Cape Coast Castle, and go through the door of return. That is exactly what we have done today, 4 years after the year of return. So I am so proud of you for returning. So we are returning, but we are not done yet. So we are moving so that we can continue.
A lot of those
we all gonna go back. I don't call the name, but I call the whole family. Family folks weer aan en Blikslagen leeflang. We're gonna move now. We're gonna move. We don't live here anymore. All the pain, let it stay behind.
That's why I don't speak. But I hear a lot of the language.
We are going inside.
Yeah.
Watch your head, watch your head.
That's not allowed, I like that.
Damn. Oh, mama. What they did to us, it was worse. And I can't forget.
Mr. T, go ahead.
Hola.
I cannot even breathe here.
Only for money, you can't even breathe.
Oh, okay.
Only money.
They want you to feel it.
This is Babylon.
They didn't have any light. They didn't have any light. They didn't have light. No.
Look, if you have never been here before, and somebody is telling you this in your hotel, in your house, you might think it's just crazy or joking. It's a matter of you coming here, going through this, and you appreciate what happened. Now this is a cell, not a dungeon. Now this was a cell that really designed for some of our people, that they kept in the dungeons as captives. And because of the bad treatment given to the blacks, they were suffering in the dungeons. Some were fighting British. They wanted freedom. That was their message. Some said they were freedom fighters. Others said they were rebellious slaves. Those doing that, men like us, they bring them here. This cell has 3 doors then. There was a door here. They removed this one. Another one in the middle, and the last door. They'll bring those men here. They'll lock the 3 doors. They won't give them food, no water, no air. Then they kill them. They died through starvation. The last door left is open. The sun is not shining today. But look at the temperature here. If they lock the 3 doors and you are here, just imagine. That was how British, who said they were Christian, is how they kill our people. But today we are not dying. We are going outside. But please keep your heads low.
Yes.
Please keep your heads low as you punish yourself. So we are going out.
That we are lazy today. We never perform anymore. Then they tell us we are lazy. What happened to us? We cannot work anymore, man. We must work for ourselves.
And they had 3 of such doors those days. 3. We survived their condemnation.
So wood with metal?
It was built by the British.
Okay.
Wood with metal. So let's move on this way. We are going to climb up briefly to see the difference. To cool down the temperature and see the difference.
You know, I don't feel myself like a slave. I feel myself like a queen, a royal.
I've never been a
Because my
slave.
father,
I've
he showed me that
never
I
been a
never been a slave. Those people were in captivity, but they were never slaves. They were royal.
We were sorting the dungeons. Upstairs was for Europeans, so it's cooler. And this is a hall called Palaver Hall. Palaver Hall. We are going to talk about Palaver, but I can hear some noise at the background. So let's move to the place that we talk about Palaver properly.
Your Tag TV to the world.
So we are still experiencing the breeze.
Yes.
So Europeans live after us, don't forget. But look at a structure, a building called Fort William. There's a building at the top. That is called Fort Williams.
The one there.
The one at the top. The Fort Williams was built by the British people. It was for their military. So military were there, looking from around whether other Europeans were coming to attack them. So that was built to protect this castle. And they were supported by all the cannons. The cannons about the backup. We have some shops here. Where the shops are now. These rooms in the olden days served as European soldiers' barracks. These were the barracks. The one in the center was kitchen, where they prepare food. Kitchen. Let's go to this place and talk about Palaver. Palaver Hall was actually the market auctioning block. I will take a few minutes of your time and explain to you how the Africans were captured from their villages all over West Africa. They were made to work for months. I said months. And arrive in the castle. Before they go to the dungeons, they will go to the Palaver Hall. That was where they do auctioning. After auctioning, Europeans would run them to their trademarks. They will go to the dungeon for 3 solid months. 1, Europeans captured some of the Africans physically in the olden days using guns. 2, they worked with some black people to get other black people. Because today in the 21st century, before they can get you, they use an insider against you. So ladies and gentlemen, in reality, nothing has changed. The system is still working. Some Africans call slave raiders like armed robbers. You know armed robbers? Are they only in Africa or they're in America, in Europe and Caribbean?
Worldwide.
They are worldwide. There were some people like that. When Europeans came, they identified them. They gave them guns, sardine, sugar, tobacco, mirrors, second-hand clothing, smoking pipes, alcohol, and lots. This is where they go, they brought no money for battle. So before the armed robbers to accept their goods, because there was no money to pay for, the robbers were organizing themselves in groups like this. They would go to villages, raid, capture innocent people like us to the Europeans in the payment of what they gave them. Few were also told that they were taking them abroad for a good living. They also accepted that deceitful offer. And what brought over 60% of the captives was ethnic conflict, intertribal wars. You must know from today that long before Europeans came to Africa in 1471, it was the Portuguese. They came 1471. Before they came, there was nothing like Ghana or Nigeria or Burkina Faso. These colonies came after the Berlin Conference, Madame mentioned, when they divided Africa among themselves. So then we had kingdoms, there were empires, African states. So we were ruled by kings and queens. And emperors for the empire. Listen, don't interrupt. They were ruled by kings and queens. And after the kings and queens who fight each other by boundary, just to expand the territory. Sometimes they fight about land they perceive to be rich of gold or any natural resource. Before Europeans came, the kings and queens would fight each other with bows and arrows that they made locally on African soil. When you go to war with these locally manufactured weapons, after a long fight, one tribe, one state, or one kingdom will lose the war. The losers will be taken as domestic slaves. It's more like indentured servitude. To those people, they had some amount of freedom. They could marry, raise free children, they could acquire property. Later, those people were integrated into the family system. They were not kept in building like this. They were also not taken to Europe and Americas permanently. They were not money to pay. You can allow your son, your daughter, sometimes a wife, to go and work for the person you owe a number of years just to pay the debt. The people who work, they call it slave. Now they're not keeping the debt that we are going to pay. If you're working like that and you're a woman and you are beautiful with a good character, and somebody from the master's family should get married to you, automatically you free yourself from being a slave to the man of the family. But there's no way I can enslave my wife. I don't think any man on earth can do that. Maybe had a system whereby you're working as a slave in the olden days, and you are a guy and you're hardworking and loyal to your master. The master can entrust his property into your hand. So in case the master is dead, you rise from nowhere to be the head of that family. So before Europeans came in 1471, we had a system across Africa, well established. And when they came, the situation changed quickly. They capitalized on the system in Africa. So they introduced guns to the kings and queens. They added a sardine, sugar, tobacco, in Africa, we thought these things were free. It was never free. It's nothing like free lunch on this planet. They would tell the African that they need those guns to protect themselves, the guns to fight other tribes, take everything. By so doing, they deepen the division among already divided Africans. When the guns get to the chiefs, they found themselves use their guns to go and fight in other tribes. So there were conflicts when the blacks left, right, center. So they know they go to the war. The end result was to get people like us in exchange for European groups as captives. Brothers and sisters, This, and that was my class to private. I'm the teacher. I am the professor in church. You have to go to the clubs. Ask a question if you know, just tell me. Has something changed? No. But has something changed? Just like nothing changed. Exactly. The system is the same. Now, if you look at the global conflict situation, the system, the global architecture, is the same thing. So when they tell us Africans, you sold your own people, sometimes I get crazy a bit. Because they don't tell us they brought weapons to the African chief to fight among themselves. Today, there are conflicts all around the globe, from the Middle East, Asia, Africa. So, where are they destroying us? Are they coming from Ghana?
United States, England, they are bringing Africa and reference. Yeah.
Are they saying I said, where?
From Europe.
Say the same people.
They say, okay, yes, the same.
And nothing has changed. Okay. That's what we must know. And guard against. Because what is happening globally is getting worse. The people came from all over West Africa. Some from Ghana, southern parts, the northern belt, 3 northern regions, Togo, Burkina Faso, Mali, Nigeria, all over West Africa. No place like Salaga in northern Ghana. How many of you know Salaga? Salaga, Tumu, Paga, Nanya, Pikoro, Techima. Those were centers when they gathered them. And take note, when they gathered this captives, when they brought them to the dungeon, they call this place slave camps in the northern sector. Today, when they create wars intentionally, and they are bombing places, those who are displaced, when they gather, they call them refugee camp. From slave camp to refugee camp, they just change the name. It's the same thing, in a different line. So they were gathered at these slave camps, they walk from the north, through Ashanti, through Bonga, through Ashanti, through Asimans, there is stopover, where they were made to back for the last time. When they arrived in the castle, they were sent to the Palaver Hall. That was when they do auctioning. That was when they auctioned them. So because of auctioning, there was some misunderstanding between the There was some misunderstanding between the buyer and the supplier. So where Palaver came. Trouble. After that, they would brand them. They designed a mental stand, put it in fire to brand you. That was the markets. Then, at the same Palaver Hall, they are Ghanaian. You know about the bond of 1844. That gave British power to colonize us over 100. That was signed the 26th of March 1854 between Commander Hill and 820 chiefs. But this hall is also a hall called McLean's Hall. McLean's Hall was actually a law court. After slavery, 400, I told you, were colonized by England for 113 years. And the capital was in Cape Coast. They moved to Accra, 1877. So this hall was British colonial court. Let's move here. Almost getting to the government. That's why they had a stopover. After walking from Mali, Niger, through Salaga, through Brongahafo, through Kumasi. Some of them walked like a year, 6 months, 8 months, 7 months, depends on where they were taken. When they got to Asimans, they took a rest. There they stay for some days, sometimes weeks. There they will shave their heads. They will make them bath on their own. There's a river they call Slave River. After bathing, they'll give them shea butter for them to smear on their skin. Give them cho food to eat to regain some lost energy, because somebody working for like 6 months, you will see, how the person will be. They will not like us. They reduce. So from there, they stay for months, days, just to put in some weight to look healthier and stronger. But then when they arrive in the castle, they send them to the Palaver Hall. That was how the bathing was done. That was they allowed them to bath on their own. But when they got here, they dungeon 3 months. They didn't allow them to bath. So they were taking them. So that was when they had their last bath in Africa. The last bath in Africa.
Communication,
Yeah. And what was the communication about? To kill, how they gonna kill me?
Did you see that fort?
Yeah.
There's a fort after 9th.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that. Oh, okay. You can communicate, can I?
Yeah, from the high
Okay, come, we got to go out.
Hello. Because the fort is on a hill, if there is an attack from any angle, soldiers they will see first. So if they detect the attack, they will communicate to the soldiers in the castle through this hole. By raising up the flag, they could flash a mirror. In the night, they use light because then there was no telephone. So this is a communication room. So maybe we are going to the bedroom. So let's move on.
The governor's bedroom and all.
Die again. 100 times when you wake up, die again. Oh my God.
Look at the residence for the governor. Take the breeze, the view, and the number of windows for the governor. You can see 9 windows in the governor's living room. 9 windows. In the dungeon there are no windows, but one governor has 9 windows. Listen. This is the governor's bedroom. Oh. How many windows can you see in the bedroom?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
5 windows in the bedroom. Plus 9 in the living room. With additional 2 here. Just compared to only the female dungeon alone. 115, that's 16 without a window. One person has 16 windows. In 21st century, how many windows do we have in the living room?
One, usually a large one, you know, or 2 fists.
So,
you know, yeah.
You see the difference, even today. Wood living. Take this wooden floor is not original, this floor. They use wood that they brought from England. And we have changed all. We've changed wooden doors and windows as well. But this wood is from the British, this is original.
Okay, the one up top. Okay.
This is original. We are exiting, going down, but after the door right, you see governor's wardrobe across it. This one with the ground, that is the church. That castle was built in 1482 by Portuguese. That was where slavery started from. That castle was taken over by Dutch in 1637. And later sold to British. So the Mina castle was controlled by Portuguese, controlled by Dutch, then British. This was built and controlled by British throughout. That is 542 years. This is 359.
Bless man, I bless and we don't have time for this.
So I was telling you there was a hole here, a walk through that goes to the ships. It was blocking the crystal. And this is the window for them to see who is sick and who is not sick. So I said they call this place selection room. This is a shrine which was not here. But the shrine was around this part of the land before British came. It's for the indigents. When the British came, they built the castle. They stopped the locals from coming closer to pray. Local people came for their shrine to their community. So when the British left, they brought the shrine back in. This was brought in 1960. Cape Coast has 77 of these deities, and that is one of them. See the flowers here. That's a Come again? Shrine.
Okay. So
What is this shrine?
It's like visitors.
Yeah, but what kind of it? You can tell me, I know a lot about culture, so it's not so.
This flower is made by the descendants of Africans in the diaspora. And nobody visits. What's that? I'm saying these flowers. Okay. Made by people like you, but nobody visits. In the memory of ancestors. So if you look at this floor, this is all waste. And the original floor is made of bricks like French. But I told you they were not clean, so the waste accumulated. So this is all So they came for the shrine to their community. When the British were directed, and you know, it's getting closer to the festival in Cape Coast. You know, Africa have festivals.
Yes.
You know, they have the same thing in the Caribbean and Jamaica. So So when it gets to the festival, they do a lot of spiritual
And then
things,
rituals.
a lot of rituals. So the traditional council came here today to do a lot of rituals. It's not just it's not a ritual.
Karma folk moto for Africa country.
Mankombe di umafo.
Events are inside, so we have a plan. You understand that we have soil in here, and that's where we do libation. So that it's going in the earth. Yes.
We set up 45 trade posts along our shores to begin to trade with us. Along the line, the man.
It's another place. I want to go there.
Set out to shine on me with all my strength in my beholder. Your holocaust in me, you carry me upon your shoulder to be your living dream. Through Jah alone I am alive. Through Jah alone I will survive. Through Jah alone I do my time. Through Jah alone. Through Jah alone I put my mouth. Through Jah alone I do my time. You are